Hey everybody, this is Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and in today's video we're going to be spotlighting some of the books that I picked up from one of my favorite comic book shops in the Baltimore area, and that is Cards, Comics, and Collectibles. You can find them up in Reisterstown, Maryland. They are a great shop for new books, but even better for back issues. They have just a ton of just absolute winners with back issues: silver, golden age, bronze, copper. They have a little bit of just about everything and some really good quality. And you've heard me talk about them in the past. They do these great sales, and at Easter and in Thanksgiving they do these really nice sales off the back issues. I usually do wait and I do my big buys at that time, but every week during the year they do different kinds of sales. You can go in there a lot of times and find 50% off of trade paperbacks, off of toys. They'll change the sales up every week. You never know what you're going to be getting sometimes, but for sure those two big sales at Easter and Thanksgiving, those are the two big sales. And but we're not talking about that. You can go back and watch one of my videos when I spotlighted Cards, Comics, and Collectibles with that haul. But this one is the recent one. I've been picking up some books over the last couple weeks from them, but in particular, I did go on Free Comic Book Day. Now, the reason I ended up going there is I learned from last year that they are really good about, you can pick up just about every free comic book that they offer. Just one copy though, but you can pick up just about nearly every one of them. And I'm going to just hold the pile here. Look at all of these issues that I ended up picking up. Now, like I said, I picked up ones of everything, and I did make a couple of different trips. I made a trip back to there just a few days later. I had been traveling. I had stopped there on my way down to I have a place in West Virginia, so I was stopping off on Free Comic Book Day, and then when I came back on that following Wednesday, a new comic book day, I stopped back by just to see if they had anything left, and they did have a few books left. But just so you know, I did make sure I get good copies of some of the ones that I really wanted, which was the Spider-Man Venom here, Dark Crisis, and Judgment Day. But one of the things that Cards, Comics, and Collectibles did, they did it last year as well. They bring in some artists and or creators. I shouldn't say just artists, but mostly artists. But in one in particular I really liked, and let me see if I can dig it out here, is John Gallagher, and he's the creator of Max Meow, and that's one of the free comic books. And so I'm picking up the book, and he's standing literally 3 feet behind me, because the shop isn't huge, but the desk where they had him set up, they had them all in the center of the room, and the counter, the checkout, is also kind of in the center of the room. So literally you're checking out, and you could turn around, and John Gallagher's sitting right there doing sketches. And let me see if I can show this. Let's get that in the light. I had him, okay, this is awful. I'm doing an awful job of that. Get a little closer. If you can see down there in the bottom corner where he autographed it in silver paint pen. So that was really nice. I really enjoy him. I enjoy getting to talk to him. He's very down to earth, and he's a big supporter of Cards, Comics, and Collectibles and the Baltimore Comic Con. These are the guys, this shop is the guys that run and own Baltimore Comic Con, and John Gallagher is a big supporter of them. In fact, he did the art for their t-shirt last year, and I know I ended up wearing that on one of my videos. That shirt, it's the same character here, Max Meow. So that was really neat to get something signed on Free Comic Book Day. But I'm not going to get through every one of those books and everything, but I do want to talk about the what else I picked up while I was there. I picked up different covers to Obi-Wan, #1, that had just come out. Now, I am not a big spec buyer on Star Wars. I will pick up #1s occasionally, but I don't know enough about the characters ongoing to know if they're really worth doing that. It's just, I love Star Wars. I grew up in Star Wars, but I just never got into the comics enough that I could really know what to buy And you know this, that I buy so many other comics from Marvel and DC that I just like, I cannot, I couldn't get into it. I didn't like it enough to start buying every issue of all the Star Wars things. So I missed out on a lot of really key books that Marvel did in a second run. But I picked this up. I mean, what's it going to hurt? Pick up a #1. I did pick up a #1. They had a few left up there of Captain Carter #1. This is one of the variant covers. Not sure if that one's ends up probably being a little bit less than some of the other ones. But I also picked up something else in their back issues. Now, these weren't on sale, but I had been looking to buy really good copies of this. Tell you a story. I was getting ready. I've got an order getting ready to go in CGC, and it's a pretty high pre-screen on this. And I had everything ready. And go back, watch my other videos where I talk about this process I go through now, where I slow down rushing books out. I don't rush them out. I work, clean, and press them. I get them prepped, set them to the side, let them have some time, let them breathe a little bit. Let me see if some of those little creases in the paper come back, those defects, do they come back in with the paper memory? And it gives me a chance to go back and look at them again. So as I'm going back and doing a reinspection of the books, it's a 25 book order. I want to say it's either a 9.6 or a 9.8 pre-screen. So it's got to be really, really tight with any of the defects. And I go through the entire order, 24 of those books, fantastic, they're ready to go. And then I had a copy of, and I'll go ahead and show you this. I had a copy of this issue right here. This is Man of Steel, #1, the John Byrne reinvention of Superman back in 1986. And front of it looked fantastic. Okay, great, we're doing good. And I don't know how I missed this when I was going through the process the first time. I'm sure I rushed through and just didn't think about it, or maybe didn't make a note that it should have been replaced and not sent in. But the back of this is an all blue cover, and there was some serious color rub up and down. I mean, we're not talking a little color rub. We're talking like thumb length color rub up the whole side. It was a huge miss on my part. And I'm going, well, crap, I want to get this order out. And luckily, I know these guys up there at the shop, that I know some of their inventory. I've been through it over and over again. I'm pretty sure that this book was there. And sure enough, it was. They had maybe 4 or 5 copies. I think they were $10 a piece or whatever. And at that point, it's fine. I ended up buying 3 of them. These 2 and then one other that, like, okay, I should have a pretty good shot at hopefully getting a replacement for the one that I shouldn't have sent in to begin with. Shouldn't have thought about sending in to begin with. And sure enough, there's just enough ticks on these that would have knocked it down further than I would like. But the third one was really good. It probably was a little questionable, but I still worked on it as well, and I think I've got it up to close to grade. I'm hoping it's one that might need a little bit of a gift grade, but it's close, very close. So I went ahead. The third one is right now in an order. It's getting ready to go out. I went ahead and picked up, it was right there. They had a copy of the regular cover, and I think this was only like $6 or $7. So now these are books that I've sent in. I've sent some of these in, and in fact, my last order I just got back in. I think I've got some of the special collector's cover came back. CGC had worked on them, and it still didn't meet that 9.8 pre-screen, so they sent them back. I'm going to take them out now, and I'll work on them myself. Maybe I can still get a good grade out of them. But those were the big back issues that I picked up. And then lastly, I picked up, because the sale that they were running on Free Comic Book Day was 50% off of trade paperbacks, hardbounds, anything like that. Not any of the back issues. And over the course of over 20 some years that I've been going to the shop and going through these sales, I would say the majority of my trade paperbacks have come from this shop, and I've picked them up on all of these sales where they're offering 50, and a lot of times on the big holiday sales, they'll do trade paperbacks, or at least they used to. They would do 60% off. So they haven't done that for a while. So I went ahead and picked up a couple things. I didn't want, at the time, I was like, well, I wasn't really in the market for it, but I came across a couple things I really like, and I had read some of these issues, but I picked up, this is the Epic Collection of Fantastic Four, and I'm not sure exactly what the issues it covers. Yeah, it doesn't say exact. Oh, yeah, it does. It's Fantastic Four 105 through 125. Now, I've read a lot of these, but this issue right here, this cover is from 112. This is the probably one of my favorite Fantastic Four stories, covers. It is John Buscema art, Joe Sinnott inking. It is a Thing Hulk battle. This is probably the best battle, I think, that they've ever done in comics. This right here was a Thing unleashed. He was going through some mental issues at the time and just was unleashing on the Hulk. And if it hadn't been for a inadvertent showing up of Alicia Masters at the very end of the story, the Thing turns his head and the Hulk just crushes him. And basically, everybody thinks he's dead at the end. That's how devastating a blow it was. But I'm telling you, the Thing on this was just about equal to the Hulk in terms of just velocity and strength and everything. And this just absolutely a killer. That was a killer issue. One of my favorites of all time. But I also picked it up because I'd read a few of the issues in and around it over the years, but I hadn't read some of these. They used to do Marvel, and I think they still do the Marvel Masterworks books, but they still put them out in hardbound, but they don't put them out in soft paperbacks anymore. At least I haven't seen it. And I really like that because you could buy every time you buy that, it's the next set of books in the run. And they seem to have stopped doing that and have replaced it with these Epic collections. And these are really good. Full color, just absolutely it's an easy thing to read. To buy all those issues would be very expensive, even reader copies by the time you bought this. And as I said, I bought this. This is half price. This is a cover price of $39.99, so you're talking $20 in tax for something like that. And then the last one I picked up, and I didn't realize it was a second print, but that's okay because it's still, I didn't buy this for value. I bought this to read the stories. I've got all the comics, but here, I can't put it in the stand there. But this is the Saga Yojimbo Saga. This is the 4th collection. It is a 2nd edition, but like I said, that's fine because I'm reading these stories and I don't have to break out all my comics to read them. But this was a great pickup. I love this. I mean, the cover price right now is like $30, so it's $15 for something like that. So that's really nice to add that to my collection. Huge Stan Sakai fan, so that is just an awesome thing. Here, I'll put this back up there so you know I have something good to look at. So anyway, guys, that is it. If you like today's video and you like this content, please hit the thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. The channel is growing. We've gone well over the 300 mark here this last week. We're growing slowly, but the channel keeps getting bigger. I really enjoy this. I enjoy showing off the books that I'm getting. A lot of these are for my PC. Today, in this case, most of these are for the PC. Those Superman will end up probably going through the cleaning and pressing process, and we'll evaluate the values. You know how I like to get books graded. Those are more for investment, but in the meantime, they're going to be part of the PC. So that's the way we do things here, and I hope you enjoy it. Also, leave a comment. Let me know. If I didn't already just say that, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of these books. And did you all enjoy Free Comic Book Day? And what did you pick up? So that's it. Guys, I'm out. I will see you for the next video. You all take care, and I'm out.